starting with cropping pattern. And within cropping pattern, you have various types. So if you remember, last time we talked about in the land degradation context, talked about strip farming, polyvarietal cultivation. Let's look at some of the cropping patterns here. The first cropping pattern is called as mixed cropping or diverse cropping. Mixed cropping or diverse cropping. What does it say? It says 2 or more crops are grown all at the same time in the field. So the key word here is same time, because there are some techniques where the cropping is done one after another, same time in a field. Now, why does it happen? If one crop fails, the other crop covers the risk of total crop failure. Risk of total crop failure. So which of the 3 circles would you associate this with? I would for sure associate the economic aspect. Economic aspect, because it is ensuring that the farmer still gets some remuneration. That's the whole point, right? Even if one crop fails, the other crop sustains. And subtly, this also brings the importance of biodiversity in farming. Yeah, monoculture versus polyculture. So this is not an example of monoculture. Therefore, you're spreading the risk, so to say. Yeah, so even if one crop fails, there is no risk of total crop failure. So there is an economic angle to it. There is also a social angle to it. Why am I saying there is a social angle? Because if there is a total crop failure, there is a risk of starvation. There's a risk of starvation. There's a risk of starvation. So this is about mixed cropping. Now, let's look at the second point. Usually a long duration crop is grown with a short duration so that both get sufficient nutrition at the time of maturity. This is very interesting, no? Because if the crop season is different, the growth season is different, the land is not burdened at the same time. So generally, a leguminous crop is grown along with the main crop. So leguminous crop will also help you in nitrogen fixation and improving the soil fertility and all. So now, the second point, the way I look at it is, it takes care of the circle which talks about the environment aspect of sustainable development. Now, are you able to link everything? We started with sustainable agriculture. We saw about 5 points, and each of these points will link to the Rene Passet's 3-sphere framework. Then we are looking at the first aspect of sustainable agriculture, which is cropping pattern. In that, we are looking at the first topic, which is mixed cropping. And mixed cropping, we looked at 2 points and how these points are correlated to the 3-sphere framework. Okay, so it is easy for you to connect it and therefore remember it better. The first is mixed cropping pattern. The second, crop rotation. So what is crop rotation? So as the name suggests, you're rotating, which means growing different crops in regular succession in the same field, one crop after another. Which means you sow a leguminous crop, and then you later follow it by another crop which is, let's say, requires a lot of nutrients from the soil. So the leguminous crop is useful because it enhances the nitrogen level in the soil, which can be readily used by the next crop. Right, like paddy. Now, what are the things about crop rotation and why leguminous crop is used? Yeah, so once again here, what are we doing here? If you actually look at it, what is it that we are doing? We are helping the soil regain its fertility through natural means. That is what growing a leguminous crop does, right? By using nitrogen fixation bacteria, you're able to fix nitrogen in the leguminous plant root nodules, and in the process, the plant definitely absorbs the nitrogen and grows. But there is also the fertility present in the soil, which can be used by the next crop. Therefore, it's an environmentally sound practice. Now, the advantage is to optimize the fertilizer requirement. You have this combination of leguminous and non-leguminous, and the crops which require less water should be grown after the one which requires more water. So what you're able to do, you are optimizing the water, you're also optimizing the soil nutrient in a way that they can sustain themselves without the use of additional fertilizers or synthetic fertilizers. Okay. So that's on the cropping pattern.